Hey guys, Jeff with the Float to Fishing Patreon here. Um, I turned 50 this year. I turned 50 this year. Now, and I'm looking at our forum and I'm looking at our members and people involved. And, we've got younger members, of course, and we've got older members. And I think the majority of us kind of fit inside that late 40s, early 50s area. Um, with that, I decided I needed to change things a little bit for myself. Movement is important. If you're not moving, you're going to lose it, right? You don't use it, you're going to lose it. Keep moving. I'm starting to notice hip issues and knee issues and all kinds of little muscle and joint issues. I need to keep myself moving forward. I enjoy what I do, float tube fishing and other things, of course. But I need to make sure I continue to do that. Movement is important and exercise is important. And when you get busy with your work, it, I moved from EMS to teaching. I worked for the fire service. I worked for ambulance companies. I actually worked for emergency rooms as well. I was constantly moving, lifting, pushing, pulling. I was doing everything all day long. And then I left all that to begin teaching the subject. And when I did that, I stopped moving. I stopped moving. I sit behind a desk. I mean, we get involved in skills and stuff, but in a full school day, a full school year, a full school day alone, I mean, I got to sit behind my desk and put grades in and handle paperwork. Um, my body's changed, unfortunately. And I'm sure you guys probably are going to start to see, if you haven't, you start to see the same thing. When I turned 50, I decided I needed to make a change. I need to start moving again. And this is a little off topic, but I'm going to throw it out there. I'm going to come back to this another time. I decided I'm going to start bike packing. I used to mountain bike a lot when I was younger in my 20s, put it aside when I got married, having kids, and decided, if I don't do this, if I don't start moving, I'm going to lose the ability to do so. So I got myself a mountain bike. I got some bike packing gear, put my tent, my stove, my clothes, all the things I need. And I take off from my front door and I travel out to a local campground about 18, 17, 18 miles away. So the whole trip is about 34 miles total. I've done it once. I've done it multiple times. I've done it once to completely, no, I've done it twice to completely camp the night and come back. Um, and I'm gonna be honest with you, it kicked my butt. It really did. But I'm doing it because I need to keep moving. I'm doing it because if I don't, I'm going to have some health issues. I'm going to have some problems. And I know this sounds kind of odd, but I want to bring this up with you guys. I've thought about this for a while, and I really, really want to put something together for all of us. I want to put together a stretching regimen, a workout regimen that we can use to keep ourselves mobile, keep ourselves active, so we can enjoy the sport we enjoy, float tube fishing. So I'm asking you, our Patreon members, and more, what kind of things do you do before you go out float tubing? What kind of stretching do you do? Do you do any stretching at all? And if you don't, you should. I'm starting to realize that I was very flexible for a long time until I just stopped doing it. I was playing high school sports. It was an active thing we did all the time, and I never really thought about it. After that, very little here and there. And now that I'm back to stretching, I realized I lost a lot of mobility. So if you do any stretching, any specific types of stretching, what are they? I'd like to know. And then workouts. I mean, I don't think we're talking, I mean, obviously we all know we're not talking bodybuilding, lifting, workouts. We're talking about things that keep us flexible, movement, active. What kind of exercises do you do? You simply take a walk, in the evening. For me, riding my bike has always been a big thing for me, and I'm really excited to be back on it again. Cardiovascular, right? And endurance. Um, but is that really suited to float tube fishing? Because that's a different type of motion versus what we're doing in the water. It still is good for my heart. It still is good for longevity or endurance. But is that the best one for me to be doing to keep me active on this? Now, that's for you to discuss because I enjoy riding my bike as well. So I'm going to continue to do that. But what would we be using? What do you use? What could we use to keep ourselves on the water longer? I'm not worried about going faster. I'm not worried about, um, you know, uh, I'm not worried about faster. I'm not worried about more strength. I'm worried about keeping flexible and moving. What kind of exercises do you do? What kind of stretches do you do? I have a list of things that I'm working on, and I'm serious about this. I want to put this together for us to learn about and for us to start to share with other people. So please, If you would, I would love for you guys to give me a little bit of information. Just tell me what the stretch is called, the exercise is called. Give me a short little video clip of what it is you're doing. YouTube has all kinds of stuff for us that we can use. Describe it. What is it that we're actually doing to keep ourselves more flexible? Again, I'm looking at my forum. I'm looking at the individuals we have. We cover everywhere from early 20s to 70s and 80s as far as age is concerned. But a large group of us are right there in the middle, in those late 40s, early 50s, where we are hitting that spot where our worlds are going to change. Our worlds are beginning to change, and we need to take control of it before it gets too far out of hand. So, if you guys are willing, I would appreciate some information from you guys. I'd love for you guys to let me know what you think is a good stretch, a good exercise, the things that you do to get yourselves prepared the day before, the day of, and maybe even after, how you manage yourself after your time on the water. You spend a good 6-8 hours fishing. When you get out, we're all kind of hunched over and, aches and pains here and there. How do you manage that afterwards? Okay. I'd like to create some sort of general basic workout program that we can provide to other people that will help give them the opportunity to be a little more flexible and a little more um, provide them with some longevity on the water. That's really what it comes down to. Okay. We at this age right now, late 40s, early 50s, we want to get to those guys that are over there at 70s and 80s and still be fishing on the water. I know I do. I'm kind of assuming you do too. Okay. So I'd appreciate it, guys. I'd appreciate if you give me some information. Tell me what you think. I've already got a list of things going that I'm going to be putting together in a little bit more of a uh, proper process to put out to you guys. I'm not trying to figure out how that's going to work. I'm not going to sit down and show you my workout exercise and my stretching exercise. I'm not going to show you that, but I'm going to give a list and demonstration and images of what it is we're actually doing. So I want to know what you guys are doing. All right. So this is Jeff with the Float to Fishing Patreon, getting older like most of us, and I'm hoping that we can keep ourselves flexible and moving. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys on the water.